Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Zola, and recently I've gotten some feedback asking for a more slower class, something for people who haven't moved their body quite as much. So today we're going to focus on the basics of Pilates. We're going to move slow and with intention. You don't need any equipment, so let's get started. Lying onto your back, legs and feet are together. Try to squeeze the inner thighs. And let's place the hands on the waist. We're going to focus on breathing right now. So inner thighs are squeezing, back ribs are heavy. Take an inhale through the nose, and as you inhale through the nose, fill the lungs up with air and let the belly expand. So inhale. And as you exhale, let go of all of the air that you have. At the end, you'll start to feel the abdominals engage. Good. On this next inhale, I want you to think of the side body. So as you inhale, the side body expands. And as you exhale, bring the side body in towards the center of the body or towards your spine. That's your transverse abdominis. Good. Again, inhale, let everything expand. And this time, as you exhale, feel the belly button pull to the spine, side body pulls in towards the center. Again, inhale deeply. And exhale. With this next inhale, try to keep that engagement of the transverse abdominis and the belly pulling to the spine. Let the ribs expand. And exhale. So that's called lateral breathing. One more time like that. Inhale, let the ribs expand wide. And exhale. The waist gets smaller as you exhale. The side body comes in towards the spine. Good. And you can let your arms come down by your sides. So you want to think of keeping that engagement that we have throughout this entire Pilates exercise. So it's like the side body is coming in closer towards the spine, sort of like you're wearing a corset. If you're a man, you don't wear corsets, but you can imagine the outside of the side body coming in towards the center and the waist getting a little bit smaller. So we want to think about that throughout the whole exercise. Arms down by your sides. And from here, keeping the spine long and the tailbone long, so don't push the low back into the mat, right? And don't arch the low back. We're in sort of a neutral pelvis right here. Just lift one foot off of the mat. And then put that foot back down, knees and feet together. Lift the other foot off of the mat. So sometimes with this, I like to put my hands again on my waist. And as I lift one foot off of the mat, bringing it to tabletop, I don't want to move my hip bones. So my hip bones are going to stay in the same spot the whole time. And I'm keeping those abdominals engaged. And lift the other foot off. Good. So we're focusing on moving the legs without moving the hips, without moving the pelvis, right? Put it down and left. Put it down one more time each side. Lift that right foot off without disturbing your torso. Place it down and other side. And place that foot down. Now we're going to bring those legs to a tabletop position. So a tabletop position is your 90-degree bend in your knees with your shins parallel to the ceiling and your thighs parallel to the wall behind you. So sometimes it's tempting to bring the thigh bones close to the body. You'll feel your low back start to press into the mat. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to keep the knees right over the hips, the pelvis nice and heavy. Those transverse abdominis are nice and strong. If this is a position that's too much for you, keep your feet on the floor and continue to march those legs. Otherwise, find that tabletop. The arms are by your sides. That gives you a little bit of help. And we march from our tabletop position. So take your right leg, the thigh bone goes away from the body and the toes lightly tap the floor if you can get them that low without disturbing the hips. So even if your legs just move a couple of inches, that's totally okay. Tap and bring it back up. Again, knees over the hips, so the thigh bones aren't too close to the body. You can feel the abdominals working to keep that tabletop position. Keep pulling the belly button to the spine. Good. Again, one side comes down, right side. Tap. Squeeze the thighs at the top. Last time, left leg comes down. Tap the toes on the ground, if you can. So even a bigger challenge, try to move both legs at the same time. My legs probably won't go as far because I want to focus on not disturbing my torso. And then the thigh bones come back to that tabletop position. So remember, I'm moving the thigh bones away from the body, so the movement happens from the hips, but the pelvis stays nice and steady. The arms help, pushing those arms into the floor, keeping a nice open chest, kind of assists with that movement of the legs. Let's do 2 more of those. So thigh bones reach away from your torso. If you can tap the toes on the floor, great. If you can't, that's great too. One more time like that. Reach the thigh bones away. And bring it back up. Good. Place the feet down. And let's think about the upper body now. So lifting the chest off of the mat, think of peeling the back of your head off of the mat, sort of like you're nodding yes. So chin comes towards the chest first. And as I lift my chest, I'm keeping the arms down, but my fingertips kind of slide forward a little bit more. And then I come right back down. The head comes down to the mat, the fingertips start where they were. And again, chin to chest, not the head yes. Peel your chest off of that mat. And then bring the upper body down. So you should feel those abdominals engage almost as soon as your head comes off of that mat. Sliding those fingertips forward, keeping those inner thighs squeezing, and then bring the upper body down. And you do that again, chin to chest, not the head yes first. Slide the fingertips forward as you lift the chest. I'm trying to get the weight of my head over the center of my body. And then come down. Good. This time, lift the chest. Try to hold it at the top. Feel the abdominals working. Starting with marching with the legs, lift the right leg off of the floor. And then bring it down. Keep the chest lifted. Keep the arms reaching long. Left leg comes up. And back down. And again, we're marching those legs without disturbing the hips. And bring it down. One more time, left side lifts. Bring it down, chest comes down. And again, we lift the chest again, chin to chest. Fingertips slide forward, right leg comes off, and then you put it down. And left leg comes up. If the marching feels like it's too much, don't march the legs, just keep the chest lifted. And if the chest lift is too much, keep the chest down and just march the legs. Good. From here, lift the chest up. And then let's bring the legs to tabletop, one leg at a time. Now again, you want your knees right over the hips. You should feel the abdominals working here. Good. Bring the chest down. Keep the legs lifted. Again, chest lifts up, chin to chest, slide the fingertips forward, lift and hold. If you want to hover those arms off of the mat, feel free, but sometimes it's good to have the feedback of the fingertips sliding along the floor. And then bring the chest down. Again, lift the chest off of the mat, chin to chest, nod and curl the chest up. And bring it down. One more time, chin to chest. The arms reach long, try to touch your fingertips to the opposite wall in the room. And then bring it down. Let's bring the feet down and let's stretch the neck a little bit. Because sometimes the chest lift can be a lot on the neck if you have weakness in your abdominals. So take breaks whenever you need. So from here, again, let's bring the legs to tabletop first and lift the chest. Marching the legs with the chest lifted, actually both legs at the same time. So keep the movement as small or as big as your body can handle. So I'm only gonna let my legs go as far as my pelvis stays steady. If this is too much, march the legs one at a time, or just keep the feet down and feel the burn in the abdominals of just having the chest lifted. Good, one more time. Thigh bones reach away from the body. Good, head down, feet down. That is plenty. Let's look right and left again if you need. Keeping the chest down for this one, bring your legs back to a tabletop. And then take your hands and place them on the tops of your thighs. While you're here, I want you to push your hands into the thighs as you pull the thighs back into the hands. So I'm going to flex the feet now. And I'm going to pull the thighs into the hands, push the hands into the thighs. And just by doing that, I feel my abdominals working. And just breathe. One more breath here. Inhale. And exhale. And release the tension. You can let your hands, you can let your legs go. And that's a really intense workout for the abdominals, right? You don't even have to do any movement. You just have to squeeze. So again, legs to tabletop, hands on the tops of the thighs. Push the thighs and the hands into each other. You don't even have to lift the chest off of the mat for this to work. And if the body's shaking, let it shake. Mine is shaking. Again, find that lateral breathing with every inhale. Let the ribs expand wide. One more breath. And put the feet down and give your abdominals a little break. We're going to add on to that with sort of a version of the dead bug. So thighs and hands press into each other again. I'm going to take my right arm and my right leg and reach them away from each other while still pressing the left hand and left thigh into each other. And then bring it back to center. Good, switching sides. So there's tension pushing the hand into the thigh, but there's length on that left side, reaching the heel away from the arm. Good, switch sides. Reach. And back to tabletop. Good, switch sides. And bring it back in. One more time, each side. Reach long. And last time, switch sides. Very nice. Place the feet down. And let's do the 100. Today we'll do the 100, keeping the feet down on the mat. Inner thighs are still squeezing, feet are still together. So reach the arms up to the sky. Make sure when you did that, your shoulders didn't come up to your ears and the backs of your shoulders didn't come off of the mat. So my arms are reaching up, but my shoulders are down. My chest, the back of my ribs are heavy and my chest is still down. So from here, inhale. As you exhale, lift the chest just like we did before. Back of the head comes off of the mat, nodding yes, reaching the arms forward. And let's pump the arms up and down vigorously like we're splashing water. Inhale and exhale. That's one. Inhale and exhale. That's two. Inhale and exhale. Three. Inhale and exhale. We're counting all the way up to 10. Inhale and exhale. That's 5. Inhale and exhale. 6. Inhale and exhale. 7. Inhale. Exhale. 8. Inhale and exhale. 9. Inhale and exhale. 10. Rest your head. So usually that's done with your legs on a high diagonal with your chest lifted, but you can feel the work without lifting your feet off of the mat. So let's come up to seated. Keeping those legs and feet together, we're going to do the half roll back. So lightly place your hands behind the thighs. So I'm not going to do a death grip behind the thighs, a light touch. Sitting up tall at the top. From here, start to round back. Now I'm going to go back pretty much until my arms are straight, but you only want to go back until you're able to hold yourself nice and strong. Right here is good for me, and then from here I dive the forehead forward towards my knees while still pulling my ribs and waist back. And then I sit up tall at the top. So again, you round back to your point of control. If you only go a couple of inches and you feel like you're shaking and you don't have any control of your body, that is plenty. You don't have to do more than you really need to get the work. Forehead to knees to come forward and sit tall. Let's do that again. So again, starting with the movement of the pelvis, right? I'm not moving my upper back first. I'm moving my pelvis first. So I'm really curling the tailbone under, almost trying to touch my low back onto the mat, but it will not touch. Keep the feet heavy into the mat and then round it up and sit up tall at the top. Let's try a few with no hands. If you want to keep your hands behind your thighs, feel free. Otherwise, let's try to reach the hands forward. Same movement. I move from the pelvis first. So curl the tailbone under and start rounding back to your point of control. If you feel your feet getting light, that's too far. And then roll it up and sit up tall at the top. Again, rounding back to your point of control. And then forehead to the knees. Push the belly button into the spine. On the way up, it's almost like your pelvis is like the last thing to come up. So it's the first thing to move as you're going back. And it's the last thing to move as you come up. Good, and relax. Let's do some swan. So flip over onto your stomach. Stack one palm on top of the other and place the head on top of those hands. Shoulders down the back. The tailbone is long, and let's try to keep the legs together. If you have low back issues, you can have the legs separated about hip distance apart. But if you have a healthy low back, try to squeeze the inner thighs together. From here, curl the tailbone under and start to lengthen the spine so much that your chest just happens to lift off of the mat. I'm keeping the head and the hands glued together, and then bring it back down. So same thing, you want to lift to your point of control. So if you're only lifting an inch or two, that's totally fine. It's more about lengthening the spine and finding so much length that you lift. And then bring it down. Again, try to squeeze those inner thighs together. Feel your hip bones reach down towards the mat. Belly button pulls away from the mat. Lengthen the spine, lift the chest. And bring it down. Let's add the breath to that. So you inhale to lift. And exhale to come down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale to lift. And exhale to come down. 1 more. Inhale up. And exhale down. Good. Let's push back into a child's pose just to give that little low back a stretch. Good, and roll yourself up. So let's do some saw to get some twisting of the spine going on. So separate your legs a little bit wider than the distance of your mat. Keep a slight bend in the knees, so push the heels down into the mat to engage the back side of the legs. Reach the arms long to the side and sit up as tall as you can. Twist the ribs to the right. Good. From here, I'm going to dive over my right leg, bending my spine and trying to reach my pinky finger towards my pinky toe. You should feel a nice stretch in your opposite side of the body, in the left side of the body. Bring your body up, come back to center. And then twist the ribs to the left. Same thing, rounding forward, reaching my pinky finger towards my pinky toe. And then roll the spine up. Let's add a breath. Inhale, twist. Exhale, round down. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, center. Other side, inhale. Exhale, round. Feel the side stretch. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, center. 1 more time, each side. Inhale, twist. Exhale, round down. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, center. Last one, inhale. And exhale, round it down. Inhale, roll up. And exhale, center. Beautiful. Side kicks. Lie on the side of your body. Let's line the back body up with the back edge of your mat and bring the heels towards the front corner of your mat. Top arm presses down into the mat in front of your belly. And let's lift that top leg up, about hip height. Once we start, we don't ever let that leg drop below hip height. So side kicks, I'm going to kick the leg forward 2 times. And then as I go back, I try to not lean forward in the upper body. Keeping the hips stacked, I press my heel back towards this wall behind me, and I feel the back side of the leg working and the front side of the leg lengthening. Again, 2 kicks to the front. Kick, kick, and lengthen to go back. Good. Again, kick, kick. And lengthen to go back. Good. Again, kick, kick. And one of the hardest parts for me, at least when I go back, is to keep this bottom leg heavy. So belly button pulls to the spine, really press that bottom leg into the mat and reach that top leg back. Let's do one more. Front, front, and lengthen to go back. Reach, reach, reach. Let's bring the leg back to center without dropping it. Lift it and lower it. Nothing crazy, just about 1 foot up and 1 foot down. Up and down. 5 more times. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now we can lower that top leg, bend the knees about 90 degrees, just for some clamshells. So open the top knee and close. Good. Open and close. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Come on up. Let's just switch sides. I'm going to stay facing you, but you can flip over if you need. Back body lines up with the back edge of your mat. Heels come to the front corner. Press the top hand in. Do not forget about the engagement of your abdominals. Lift that top leg about hip height, and let's do 2 kicks to the front. Kick, kick. And lengthen to the back. Reach, reach, reach. Press the bottom leg into the mat, the hardest part for me at least. Kick, kick to the front, and stretch to go back. Keep the hips stacked. Try to not lean forward and back in the upper body. And then again, kick, kick. And reach. One more time. Kick, kick. And reach. Top leg over the bottom, keep it hip height, and then lift about a foot and lower. Up and down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And bring it down. Let's bring those knees to 90 degrees. And then clamshell, open that top leg and close. Good. Open and close. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Beautiful job. If you want to give your outer thighs a little stretch, I like to windshield wiper the legs. So I open my feet about the distance of the mat, maybe a little wider, and I just tap one knee to the floor, internally rotating and externally rotating in the hips. That feels pretty good for me. Good. One more time. Good. Let's stand up and come towards the top of your mat. Good. Let's end with a few planks. So this would normally be a push-up series, but if you want to do push-ups, feel free. I'm just going to be holding a plank. So have your legs hip distance apart, stand up tall, and from here just curl your chin towards your chest and begin to round down. Once your hands find the floor, if you need to bend the knees, that's fine. Walk the hands out to a plank position, nice and strong. Take a big breath here. And then walk your hands back to your feet. Again, bend your knees as much as you need to. Once you're all the way back, let the head be heavy and roll yourself back up, one vertebra at a time. It's a nice massage on the spine. Good, let's do that 2 more times. So again, chin to chest, round your spine. Again, bend your knees as much as you need to. Find the floor with your hands and walk out to a plank position. And just take a couple of breaths here. The legs are strong, the glutes are engaged, the belly's pulling in. Good, and start to walk the hands back. Head is heavy as you roll yourself up. One more time, curl the chin to the chest and round it down. Good, walk the hands out. Find your plank. Again, if you want to do some push-ups right here, feel free. Otherwise, just hold your plank and breathe. Good, and walk the hands back. Head is heavy as you roll yourself all the way back up. Nice job. That is it for today. Thank you for joining me. If you could hit the like and subscribe button, that would be great. Again, my name is Zola, and I hope to see you next time.